I have to tell you that I especially, excuse me, Gary, but I especially liked the testimony by our FDIC leader. And I find it to be just an absolute stunning rejection of the policies that have been put forth by our Treasury Secretary. And I very much like what you have to say. We might, there might be some details, but I find it amazing that your embrace of the free market is so different from our Treasury Secretaries, who in essence has come up here talking about wanting the powers in perpetuity to invest taxpayer money in systemically in entities that pose systemic risk forever, in essence creating another Fannie or Freddie in the process. It's an amazing thing to me. And also, by the way, sharing with the public who those entities are by causing them to pay higher premiums so that everybody understands that they're never going to fail. So I just want to thank you for bringing sanity into this discussion. I very much appreciate your presentation and very much appreciate your willingness to take something that is more the American way into your thinking here and certainly presenting to us. Now let me ask you a question. Timing. We've had, you know, I actually appreciate the way our chairman has handled this and that he has not tried to rush through this. I know that he and the ranking member agree on that. I know that this resolution authority, though, is important right now. Okay, the other pieces of it do not have to come into play necessarily. We're not going to solve this crisis through regulation we put in place today. But I'd love to hear about the resolution authority piece. Number one, if you feel it can be done separately, and what the timing of that should be.
Well, I do think that just giving us the authority to resolve bank holding companies, bank and thrift holding companies, that could be done more quickly. You don't need to just decide what's systemic and what's not and who's going to be providing the broader systemic regulation. But that would be a huge contribution to the tools that we have to deal with the current situation. So I do think that could be broken off, and it would be very helpful to have.
I do hope there's some that you will coach us, okay, and help us figure out a way to maybe deal with the resolution issue and let the other be dealt with when there's not a crisis. Otherwise, we will probably not end up with a cause-neutral solution, okay? We'll be focused on CDSs and everything else, but thank you. Let me ask you this. Many of our institutions have talked about wanting to leave the TARP program. But one of the most beneficial pieces of what we've done is the TGLP program, okay? TLGP program, where in essence they're able, through government guarantees, to borrow money, okay? If we cause these folks, if we allow these folks to leave the TARP program, should we also make them leave this other thing that's actually of greater benefit to them, a government guarantee for their debt? Should we also cause them to leave at the same time?
Right. Well, that's a good question. I think I would point out that the TLGP program has been a moneymaker for us. We've collected over $7 billion in premiums from it, and we've had no losses. So I think, and that has helped. Some of the surcharges on that program are now helping to replenish the DIF, where we've had losses through our normal resolution activities. So I think there have been some benefits to the government and the FDIC for that program.
So now you're moving the free enterprise into government. We're making money.
No, I don't. We'd like to get out of that program October 31st, and that is the plan right now. And I think the issue with, I'll be quite honest with you, we had an opt-in or opt-out procedure when we instituted the program. I was worried about adverse selection. So I think we'd like for the programs that are in it, the institutions that are in it now, to stay in it until October 31st on the current terms that they have. But then after that, we'd just like to end the program. Is that possible? Can our institute? I sure hope so, Senator. I sure hope so. I think we'll know more in the third quarter. But that is the current strategy. I will guarantee you that if we can't exit it, that for everybody, the fees will go up. I know something we had originally talked about, which we did not do because the markets are under such stress, would be only guaranteeing a percentage, say 90% or 80%, to make, you know, the private markets start weaning off of this and take some percentage risk. So there are different ways we can exit if we can't by October 31st, but my strong preference is just to get out October 31st.
So this is apparently going to be my last question. If we end the program on October the 31st, my sense is that we potentially may need this resolution ability in place prior to them, because it would be my sense that there are a lot of institutions in this country that cannot survive without that program being in place. I'm just wondering if you might respond to that.
Well, I think that is a valid observation. I think, again, the flexibility of the tools we have to deal with this has been hampered by our lack of ability to deal with structures at the holding company level. So a lot of this open institution assistance has been needed because we don't have other tools available. So I think it would be helpful to give us flexibility, and I hope it's the kind of thing maybe you hope you'll never have to use, but I think having it now would be extremely helpful. And also, you know, we find with the smaller institutions, just the threat of resolution authority can trigger actions that might not otherwise take place. And so it's, for a variety of reasons, it would be a helpful tool to have.
We appreciate your willingness to talk with us on the telephone from time to time, and I hope that will continue. And again, I know that you've spent most of your life in government. I thank you for proposing something that is sane, that actually alleviates the moral hazards that our Treasury Secretary has tried to lay out. I'd love to hear of y'all's interpersonal conversations sometime, but I won't ask for that now.